morning, YouTube family. Luis El Milusos coming to you again with another video on how to add a light to your trailer. This is a trailer that I bought recently, and it came obviously with the rear lights from factory, but I want to add an additional light since it doesn't have additional lighting to it. So I always like to have just a little more visibility when I'm towing. So in this case, this light came in a kit with two yellow markers and then the red lights, but I already have red lights, so I'm not going to use those. I just took these from the kit and some wire. So let's start with the tools that you're going to be needing. You're going to be needing, in this case, the little nut here is a 7/16. Sometimes it's an 11, sometimes it's a 12. I happen to have the ratcheting one. Great investment, you know, to be able to ratchet without having to pull out and then reposition and then retighten. This is just a really quick, fast way when you have small areas like this and you can't fit a ratchet with a socket in it. This works perfect. It's a great investment. This is actually from a Craftsman kit that I got, and I'll post a video on how I got these for free, actually. So I'll post a video about that and with a link. So if you guys want to do that too, you guys are welcome to do that. So I don't get paid for brands, as you know, but I am going to go ahead and hashtag them and make sure that you know what I'm using. I have a Ryobi or Ryobi adjustable variable speed drill. And in this case, the drill bit that I'm using is a 17/64. 17/64. That's the drill that the actual bit that I used to make the hole. And then I have just these, because these I'm going to use the tip, and then I also cutter, so I need to cut my wires. For ease of the video, I always try to do it fast and easy. I've already split my wires. I've already spliced them, or actually not spliced them, but peeled them, and then I have them all ready. This one's really long for a particular reason. I took a wire. I always take about the length that I need, plus maybe a half a foot to a foot extra, just in case I mess up I can cut, and I always have that safety net. So let's get started. I took my Ryobi drill, and I kind of just went with, you know, just a little bit larger than the actual one that it is. I have the next smallest one was the exact same diameter as this bolt. However, it would have been hard to squeeze in. So this is like the very next one up, and it works perfect. So I went ahead. When you're gonna drill, you always want to drill, but you don't want to go like really fast. It's like always like full speed, and you're trying to do, no. This is metal. You got to give this time, because otherwise you're gonna heat it, and it's just gonna go dull. So you start. You know what I did is I went ahead and put my finger, went sideways like this, and I says, okay, so that's about a finger. That's where I want it, and I went ahead and fit it. So that's a finger. And so I went ahead and tapped this, and just made a little scratch mark on there that gave me where I needed to start. I took my drill, I put it in the middle, and then I started. So then you go slowly. You turn it to where it's turning slow at a specific, get a rhythm going with that speed, and then you go in, and it'll, as you get to the end, it's gonna start whistling. You're gonna feel the blade getting a little, it's gonna start like bouncing a little bit and getting a little harder. So then at that point, you give it more speed, and then it'll just pierce right through, and then you're done. So give it time. Don't go racing in there. You don't need to race. So in any case, and this light now with the bolt, the hole's already made, so the light goes in here, and you have it there. So you take your washer, and you take your little nut, go back over here, and you're gonna go by feel because you can't see this. So this is where your sense of touch is gonna be real handy. Because this one's moving, this one's loose in here, so this one moves a little bit. So we'll get it right now. I'll get that taken care of. There it goes. Alright, I got that one. Okay. So I'll just go finger tight, just so it's there. I'll grab my 7/16. Again, remember, righty tighty, lefty loosey. In this case, it's reversed from me, so I have to go this way. All right, so I'll go ahead and put it in here. And then remember, your bolts talk to you. All right, they're gonna tell you when they're ready. and when they're already tightened, so we don't want to over tighten it, so we're just going to go ahead and do that. We're going to go ahead and give it a little more. I want to say that's about right, without breaking it. Okay, so now we have our wire. I'm going to go ahead and run it through here. And again, when you're drilling, I forgot to mention, when you're drilling, you always want to use eye protection, because you're going to be drilling into metal. Little shavings start flying off. If you happen to see a lot of shavings and you want to blow on it, you can blow on it safely and not have to worry about your eyes, okay, because you're working with metal. So you want to protect your eyes always. Okay, I use this one to be able to cut. Like I said, I went ahead, I cut, and then I took it and spliced it, or not spliced it, stripped it. So I went ahead and stripped it, and I'm going to use this tip in a minute. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and feed this through, and I think I'm going to go the other way around just because this is a little stronger since I've already peeled the other ones. I'm going to go ahead and feed it to the other side, and here it comes. Okay, so there's my feed. I'm going to walk over here to this side. The brown's already peeled. This one's already peeled. So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and now put these together. Okay, and what I'm going to do is create a little side to keep this connected like this. Because the yellow is not going to be used right now, only because this light only has one function, I'm going to leave this like this and then just put it here. When I get my other light that comes with a dual function, I will undo this brown wire and then take this one off, put the other one in, and then do yellow to yellow and then brown to brown. That's how I get the functions. And from that moment on, the new light is going to have the regular running lights, but then whenever I'm blinking to turn, it's also going to blink to let them know that I'm going to change lanes or make a turn. So I'll go ahead and peel that one, and then we're going to go ahead and again make a little turn like this so that we can just give it some strength here, and it doesn't pull against it, and it keeps it to where it protects it. You know, by folding it that way, I limit the risk of a pull and separation from those wires. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull, make it nice and tight here. And you always kind of stretch it a little bit and pull and wrap when you're doing electrical tape. So I'll go ahead and finish that off. That's done. And then this one will go here. Okay, it's hiding. The other side that I've already done, because the light is on the other side, the wire also was able to hide really good. So I will go ahead behind the bolt. I will wrap this, turn it, and make a loop and wrap it behind the bolt. Like that. And then it's like a little tether, and I grabbed it with the bolt. Okay, so that one's ready. So I'm gonna go this way now. And I'm gonna go back over here. Now, usually, I always cut and I splice them together and all that, but these are already done this way and they're crimped. And so I don't want to disturb this. This is a very solid connection. It's good. I like the way they did it, and it hasn't failed, so it's perfect. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and size this, and since it's stretched, I'm going to make sure that I kind of measure it here. So in this case, I wanted to kind of leave it long, but no, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it. So as you notice, I'm going to need extra wire, so I'm going to go ahead and connect it. So pretend that's connected, and then give myself an extra little piece. So I'm going to cut right there. Okay, I'm going to separate these, and again I'm going to give it a good little chunk of wire. Okay, just like that. This one will do exactly the same. And don't squeeze too hard, because if you cut this, you're done. You have no more cable. So you always have to, if you're new at doing this, make sure you practice with a piece. Take a piece like this and practice a couple of times and do it before you know, so you can get used to how much you have to squeeze and how to pull it apart. But once you get it, should be pretty easy. So this will be stretched here. This will come here. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and start connecting these, and what I'm going to do is, because there's metal exposed, I'm going to go ahead and take this and touch the metal like this and wrap it. That's why I needed to have quite a bit of copper exposed, So I can go ahead and do that. And then what I'm gonna do is take my little plier here and squeeze some of this without pulling it apart or pulling it out. I'm just gonna, that little end that I got right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and push it in like that. Okay, just like that. And then I'll leave it this way. The yellow comes out. Same thing with the yellow. I'm gonna touch and wrap around this metal that's exposed here. Just like that. And only because this is already done this way, so I don't want to disturb it. Otherwise, I would have just cut them, put them all together, and make one whole union from all 3 cables. But in this case, it should work well. I'll just stuff this in like this, just so it still connects and hides in there. Just like that. Alright, perfect. So now there's plenty of copper touching, and so what we'll do is we'll start now our taping and finalize this project. And now whenever I turn my lights on, this will transfer the power to that other light and then make it run. So then all 4 lights will come on and I'll have more visibility at night. Now my car that I'm gonna tow this trailer with does not have the connectors already done or already installed for towing for the trailer. So my next video right now is gonna be on how to wire that particular trailer. Now there is a trick. Usually my car has the running lights and the stop lights and the blinker lights, they're separate. My blinkers are separate from my actual red light. It's yellow and then it's red. So it's a 5-wire, not a 4-wire, and the trailers are wired for 4 wires. So if you don't have a little converter or adapter to make it into a 4-wire, then you could, in essence, I've done it before, where you can have a second light and then 2 lights will be for your stop and your, you know, like your running lights, and then 2 lights will be for your blinker lights. I don't want to go through additional lights in here, so what I'm going to do is I am going to use a converter. But if anybody's interested in knowing how I do the other like the 4 lights, I could possibly put a video together just to see if you wanted to have like 4 lights in the back. 2 would work. I can make all 4 run at night as a running light, but then only 2 will turn for blinkers, and then the other 2 are going to be the stop lights. So if you're interested in that, let me know and I'll put something like that together and show you guys. But okay, so this is done. So if it's taped, let's go ahead and finish this project real quick so you guys can go out and wire your lights, wire your trailers. And I know that in some cases I may get a comment, hey, would it have just been easier to just cut all 3 wires and put them together and just tape them together? But this is also a trick that sometimes we don't think about, to go around the metal like that. So it serves dual purpose when we're recording this video. Alright, so let's go ahead and just put a little more here so I can be happy with tightness and making it weatherproof, water resistant. So what I do is I'm going to go ahead and take this here and then start another strand, but now with all of them together. Okay, because when it rains, any moisture, we don't want to have water in here touching the wires. So just go around and around the merry-go-round. Fine. And then in this case, this one came with its wire protector here, so we'll put this back inside. Split in the middle, so we just have to find the split and push these wires in. Okay, that goes in. Now they're hidden. looks pretty good. And then what I'm gonna do is give this now a turn so that the wires or the cables don't want to come out. They'll stay in place. And again, always a little squeeze, a little tightness there, so it wraps well. Okay, beautiful. Now this is going to push inward into the slot where it was. This wire will come around this way. Okay. Just kind of like so. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and finish with that one. On the other side, it worked well. The wire contributed quite well. In this case, it wants to slide out from the center over there. So what I'm going to do is just find a little clip and put them in. They do sell them at the hardware store, or you could even make a little hole here and create like a little connector to just hold that wire in place. So you could tape it. There's different things that you could do. On the other side, it worked perfect. I didn't have that slack. So in this case, I'm gonna go ahead and just play with this a little bit. And the kit did come with a couple of little clips. And it came with these two little clips, or 4 clips actually. And those are usually go on the bottom so that you can attach them to the actual frame or the edge like this. You clip it with the sharp edge in, and then it creates that wire holder. But because in this case we're vertical, we're not horizontal, it makes it kind of difficult. However, if you choose to use this, it'll have to go something like this. And then these are very sharp, so they're exposed out here and they make it very sharp for you. So I don't recommend you using this one specifically. But in this case, I did lose the slack a little bit because I went under behind this bolt. There is thread for this holder, this handle. There is a thread back here for these 2 bolts. So I can always, and I think that's what I'm going to do, is get a nut that will have the same thread. And I'll look at that right now. I'll take one of these bolts out and then find the nut and then put it from behind and just tighten it up a little bit. And that's going to hold my cable in place. And then you don't have any slack on that side anymore. And that should be done. So I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, any comments, let me know. And I'll go ahead and fix it, put it together, make an explanation on that, and look out for my next video, because my car, I'm gonna go ahead and take my tail lights out and wire and pinpoint which one's brake, which one's right, left turn, and then go ahead and wire that up. I need to go out and get a little converter so you know what I'm talking about, and I'll put that video together. So once again, thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe. Luis El Milusos. God bless.